Old bric-brac's like that, sometimes still full of good things. Try not to get turned around in the dark. That's some sharp wood scrap there. Watch for splinters. That's a good sign. Small's mart is a favourite thingamajig. Let's see. Claims to have strange things. No one would ever see you coming. You've discovered Fanaki leaves, the densest jungle in the land. Better get hacking. Metal that's scrapped, always shiny and chrome. The scrap keeps piling up. You found the Moly Hole outpost, an old Pichu tribe hole in the wall. That ain't bad. Flexity flex. It's sweatering here. Ah, plastic scrap like that always comes in handy. The Surge Surf Factory. Keep your eye out for Wiz while you're here. Let's see. Toxanol's mining led to mass deforestation and increased global warming, as nature couldn't absorb the carbon dioxide and greenhouse gas emissions without the trees. These irreversible changes to the climate also contributed to the evolution and modified our genetic code. Wuz isn't easy on the tongue, but I think he says he's happy to see a friendly face. Not too many of those around these days. Says it's good to see you again. He's Wiz. You might remember him from the old days when he let you try his octopod? Wiz remembers you were such a cheery kid, and he's glad to see that light hasn't faded from you, despite the years. But Wiz understands it was a long time ago, and memory... He set up camp at the foot of the Tree of Life. It's gotten more difficult for it to find defenseless prey, as it's already eaten most of them. Wiz says our memory keeps things for us, preserves them until we are ready to face them again. He knows you've returned to face Lupa Lupin, and that confrontation is as inevitable as the tides. He's not surprised that the loss of your family could plunge you into the depths forever, but you've always been able to rise like a bubble to the surface, no matter what. He knows that though the tides of history may push you in one direction, ultimately it's your choice. You were the one to be wronged and have lived with the consequences. He believes in consequence as it's a direct result of action.
Run, Dark, run!
It's not a race.
You only say that because you're losing.
That doesn't mean I'm wrong.
No, there are lots of other reasons you're wrong.
Asks if you ever think about freedom and whether any of us really... Maybe that's true for you, but he's not so sure about his own fate. Amazed the world is going to continue on, but happy to hear it. Still so many things to invent. Impressed that you fought so hard to keep the world spinning. Thinks you were smart to join with the Myriad. Says they're unified in the ways that matter. But that's not nearly as important as this. Wiz says that you should let the past dwell in the depths. But there's something else down there too, gnawing at the Tree of Life. He's named it the Merc Puff. This is why he's tinker-tonkering with the octopod. But the lid got stuck, so he needs a big enough tug twister to open it up and let you a-going. He can't leave the surge station, so you must help him find a tug twister. It's definitely made to lend a helping hand and do the heavy lifting. Toxanol records mention it as an automaton made for moving bionucleus matter into storage areas. Stories only survive if someone is listening, so pay attention. Nice. Some barked wood scrap for you. Bang Shelter 11E. Just the place to ride out a storm. An old home. Could be something to it. The world is getting colorful again. Don't want to point a finger, but the Mecha Stadium is near here. Gotta hurt. rid of the aches and pains. Nice shot. Super effective. The sun is high. Definitely not open. Oh, it's locked. That's not opening on its own. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You need to loosen the bolts without unsettling it. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's too much distress. That's it. The tug twister's loose. Let's hope it turned the grabbing hand into a helping hand, too. Daytime is the best time to get things done. Feels like something's about to happen today.
Malo ang Japan balaga. Kapining kay kalay.
He believed the tug twister would do the trick, but now realizes brute force.
No, Katal ilvanto aliak.
Well, he means slick, as in greasy, so you can lube the hinges of the lid. He can't argue against the fact your fur's shiny.
Pantal parat iranta.
He says the lid should open if you sprinkle grease it. Problem is, he's all out.
Kandan isnafov intonanko terium. Katal ilvanto aliak.
He knows his old friend Choo Choo always keeps his grease sprinklers well filled. He should have an extra that you can borrow.
Kanapan katal ilatuntun.
He stresses that you should come back as soon as you've retrieved the grease sprinkler.
Oto emaram altlikurado. Mek ne antumpo nikarapo.
Wiz heard he's currently stranded at the end of the line, so it should be easier to track him down now compared to when he's running rails. Look at those peaks. Don't trust your eyes so much. They play tricks in the dark. That's a putty-upper plaza. Some were actually trying to build something before it all started to end. You've reached the end of the line. Bet you can find Choo-Choo here. Just when you think it's darkest, the dawn.
Pasado conto pa.
Choo-Choo knew you would make it to him one day. All you had to do...
Malam laboto.
Says the name is Choo-Choo, and he likes to ride the rails.
Chuchuchu pampatsuda kamaba.
Says you followed the rails to where you need to be, but tracks have switches in them too. The question is then, will you keep on the same track, or look for a way to hit that switch?
Pasado conto pa. Poto?
You seem like you're on the right track already. He just hopes you don't get sidetracked onto a darker path.
So takudo muy kanto pasabata chuchuchu kompata.
Whichever way you go, he wants you to know that the rails never steer you wrong. Stick to them, and they always bring you right to where you're meant to be.
Kerembata sapa kompata. Mala no kasabat.
Wants to know if you've ever regretted taking one track in life instead of another.
No kasabat.
Thinks everyone has. No one's perfect every time.
Kerembata sapa. O katsumoto shumikaba.
Seems like the world came out of its rut and is chugging toward higher ground again.
Bye.
Can't thank you enough for hitting the brakes and working to turn the world chug around.
Bye.
But let's not get derailed.
O katsumoto shumikaba. Go sap.
Says he's surprised to see anyone this far out, but sometimes the wrong train does take you to the right station.
Koi.
As you can see, he didn't plan to make a stop here, but now that he had to, he's really happy to see you. He says his name is Choo-Choo.
Mala kerembata sapa.
He's been off track since the world started dying, but he
Pampatisba. Go sap. Malam.
figures that's true, but they can get you close enough to most things for most reasons. You can stumble along from there.
Pampatisba. Pampatisba. Kerembata sapa.
He's convinced the tracks are... This time,
Mala malam ta.
wingnuts are easy to find, as they're fitted on any in-front chugger-chugger out there.
Pampatsuda. O
There's
katsumoto
a
shumikaba.
bright day.
Hey, that's going to...
The only one getting
That's...
bored.
Hope you enjoy the rain. Suppose even monsters have to sleep somewhere. You can see so much farther in the light. The Wingnut Chug Tunnel. It goes on forever. Feels good on you? How far underground do you think you are? Just a few moves left. Make them count. A story has got to keep moving forward. You need to swivel the globus's bearings.
Cosita Bumpak to the Goyaba, Bumpak Malum, Cosita Bye.
He keeps it safe in a box on the handcart in case of emergency.
Kambasa Pateta Kambaba, no Cascato.
It's a verse.
Chuchu, Casimoto Shuikaba.
He's convinced you'll put it to good use, as there are lots of stuckies out there that need greasing.
Paramalo?
Says there's no...
That's so
Seriously?
You just...
Dark.
Karimbatazaba?
Choo Choo says he can't wait to get out of this place.
Gongpata?
Says you...
No Casaba Trapoto, Poto, Bumpak to the
He believes you've got what it takes to make a difference. He's witnessed it himself.
Kambasa Pateta Kambaba,
Choo Choo's thrilled you found the Ark. Just imagine.
Kambasa Pateta, Gongpata, Chuchu.
Says he's...
Kambaba,
Wonders who...
So, what we have here is an...
Why?
If you want to...
But you know you...
Bye, Chuchu.
After Spa, Choo Choo says he's ready to pack up and leave.
Malum.
Says... That's an Aurora totem. Legend has it that activate... The leaf roof almost blocks out the sky.
Non pantale, Bali Cantafu, Anupam Nigracho.
Wiz says that there's no plan to confront the Merkpuff until the octopod is...
Potiragom, Kalakanapan Katal il Invitala Chos, Kaltenden Rico Iniameri, Palam Kachove,
You should keep an eye on the horizon for...
Binang Verach.